Talk to me about the market, because most of the narrative these days is crypto winter, crypto winter, crypto winter. I believe you asserted that the crypto winter ended, I think June 15th of last year, and we're in the crypto spring.
And you're good. You're good. You got me down to the day. And it's interesting.
What do you mean by that?
As we speak, Bitcoin is almost exactly, almost exactly the same price it was on June 15th last year. But in between, we did have the FTX dip all the way down to 15,000. People say, "Oh, Mark, that proves you were wrong. That was still winter." I'm like, whoa. Remember what spring is. So there are 4 seasons, winter, spring, summer, and fall. And I will argue the 4-year cycle of crypto follows this, about a year each. It's actually more like 15 months, 9 months, but in different cycles. But long story short, in spring, I live in North Carolina, about once every 10 years, we get what's called a snowicane. And it's basically a nor'easter, and it gets stuck, and it dumps in March 12 inches of snow. It should never happen in North Carolina, but once in a blue moon, it does. That's kind of what I view FTX was. It was a snowicane. It was Hurricane Sam. And it all happened in what was a pretty interesting, we were making higher highs and higher lows, lots of support, increasing volumes. Everything was looking good. We'd gone from, 17.5 on June 15th, it ended the day at 20,000, but it hit a low intraday of 17.5. I thought that was the bottom. And we were up back up 24. And then bang, we're down to 15 with Sam. Well, then we got all the way back to 20, and then we were back to 24. Well, now in the last couple of weeks, we're right back down to 20 with the Signature Bank and Silvergate and all this other stuff. But my point is spring, it's rainy, it's cold, it's wet, it's muddy, it's volatile, in like a lion, out like a lamb. So if you look at spring, in the last cycles, it wasn't up and to the right. It was dead flat with lots of vol. It's kind of what we've had. We're dead flat since June. I will argue we're a month to 2 months away from summer. What's summer? Summer is where people anticipate the halving. The halving is one of the most ingenious pieces of coding I can think of. And what do I mean by that? So if you think about a new asset, you need to get attention, okay, in order for people to adopt it and embrace it. Well, one of the things about assets, if they move, people will follow it, right? It's the hunter-gatherer thing, right? If someone were to walk by the hallway out there, I would look, because I can't not look, right? Now, the opposite is true, right? If it's not moving, I can't see it. I tell the story that, my wife says, "Hey, go get the ketchup." I open the fridge, no ketchup, honey. She walks up, grabs the bottle. If it ain't moving, I can't see it. So the halving does this. Every 4 years, the block rewards get cut in half. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you and I are miners, we buy computers, we plug them in. Instead of going out to AWS or Azure and selling our computer power, we sell it to an algorithm and we get paid block rewards. We get paid Bitcoin. Well, our cost of electricity is fixed. Our machines are being depreciated. So if the number of rewards we get falls in half, we're out of business unless price goes up. So there's a natural incentive for the price to rise. Well, as the price rises, people are drawn to it. And so what you see is this upward trajectory of growth. It follows along something called a Metcalfe's law curve, which is the more participants in the network. But human beings are going to human. So what do human beings do? We do 2 things really well. We buy what we wish we would have bought, and we sell what we're about to need. So when that price starts moving and it gets to fair value, more people come in. And we go from investors who buy things below fair value to traders who don't really care about fair value. They just want movement. Then as it gets a little higher, the speculators come in. They're like, "Oh, this is going. I need to have it." Well, then the problem is the gamblers come in. And the gamblers borrow money and they push it parabolic. And that's why we see these parabolic moves. Well, then we're so far away from fair value. Again, another good Englishman, Lord Newton, was right? Gravity rules. And the price goes back to fair value. But it doesn't go to fair value. It goes through fair value because people panic and they sell. And then we get the winter, right? We're down a lot. And then we start the whole cycle again. And so I will argue next halving is February next year, 9 months ahead of that, sometime around April, May, we're likely to see increased demand for Bitcoin.
And when does that demand peak? Is it post-halving?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it usually peaks, it depends again on human nature, but it peaks post-halving, and it depends how quickly you get above fair value. So if you think about history, and it doesn't mean that this has to happen, but it makes some sense because of the way Metcalfe's law works. But every halving has added a zero to the price, meaning we've increased the market cap by tenfold. So we started at 10, we went to 100, then we went to 1,000. The last halving was 10,000, and this halving will be 100,000. That's fair value. Problem is we don't stay at fair value. For the 10,000 halving, we got all the way to 70,000. And actually Max, who I love, who you've had on the show, was saying, we're going to 200. Like, that's a little too far above fair value. That's more the next halving. And because of that, the crash was inevitable, and we did crash. This next halving, if we 10x market cap again, we'd be at 100. Then I think we do see 200 or even 300, because that'll be the craziness. And each wave above fair value gets a little bit lower just because of the law of large numbers, right? When we were at 10, going to 100, we went all the way to 1,000. That's 10x above before we crashed back under 100. Then when we went to 1,000 the first time, we went all the way to 20,000. And then the next time we went from 10,000 to 70,000. So that number starts to shrink. So next time my guess is, 200, 300,000 will be the peak before the next trough.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.